welcome to the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. I'm Spenser. I'm one of your hosts on this podcast that we do, and today I'm joined by the other two members of the League of Melanated Gentlemen to give you some litigation, some melanated court, if you will.
Yeah, this is Brandon.
And of course, I am Jordan.
Now, there are some things we got to talk about first. We have to tell you about all the places where you can find us, reach us, contact us, and tell us how you feel about all of the things. And that is something that Jordan is going to tell you all about.
Yeah, so Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and we're all at the League of Men Gentlemen podcast. That's where you can find us and talk to us. I recently found out about a new social media. This one kind of seems more towards, I wouldn't say like professionals, but it's almost like a Twitter like type thing. Have you heard of Blue Sky? You heard of that?
Heard of it. Never been on it.
Yeah, someone told
I
me recently
have
about
not.
it. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of looking into it a little bit. So I don't know. If anybody got Blue Sky out there and thinks, it'd be the next big thing, I guess let us know. Because the rest of the social media is just kind of falling apart. What happened to Threads? Nobody talks about Threads anymore. And yeah, I think that's really all the social media places, right? Like if you ain't on Twitter, which a lot of people ain't on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, really. And TikTok, I guess TikTok, that's not social media though, huh?
Yes, it's social media.
TikTok is social media, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
You count on social media?
yeah. There people be
Yeah.
talking on there,
Do you
posting.
count you do you
Like,
count YouTube as social media?
Yeah,
I don't. It is social media, I guess, but I don't like video or YouTube is video streaming to me more so than social media. And I
So it's
know that
TikTok.
all of it is everything, but
So it's TikTok.
yeah, but they're different somehow.
yeah. They're not the same. It's basically TikTok is like Instagram.
Yeah, and YouTube is more long form in most cases.
Hmm. Okay. But yeah, anyway, that's all the place you can find us at on social media. I think that's we got all the big ones. Then of course don't forget to rate and review us on any of the streaming platforms that you use, whether that is Spotify or Apple. Then, schedule updates. Of course, Mondays we drop the main podcast. Tuesdays bi-weekly we have LMG Presents Marvel Multiverse RPG, which is the Marvel role-playing game here on the channel, and I will have um an upcoming special guest, the return of Fuzzy on the Details. If anybody knows the Marvel Multiverse RPG, then I 100% know you know who Fuzzy is. So he'll be making his return and we'll be having another conversation and having a good time talking over there. Then, of course, on Wednesdays, we have Wrestling with Worldwide Willis. Brandon, some big stuff coming up, right?
Yeah, we got WrestleMania coming up, and yeah, a lot of stuff going down. They really ramped it up, so really every rivalry is kind of. At first, people were like, WrestleMania this year is kind of like it's some really cool matches, but not everything is cool. Where now it's balancing out. It seems like every match is going to be pretty legit.
Okay. There can only be one champion. Who are your predictions for the champion?
For Gunther versus Jay Uso. Listen to the podcast. The latest one, we kind of talk about it. Me and El. I'm hoping Gunther wins, and then Cody versus Cena. I think they're gonna go the Cena route. I think they're gonna give it to the old guy. Yeah,
I mean, he gotta hold the record.
yeah, exactly. You got to break that record. That they definitely want that broken.
Is he going for a record? What record are you going for?
The most championships ever. Basically, Ric Flair has the world record for most world championships. I think it's 16 and 17. I think yeah, John Cena is also at 16. So if he were to win at WrestleMania, it would give him his 17th world championship.
And he will hold the record.
Yep. hmm
I bet you they don't give it to him.
I think they do. I think they want their Ric Flair basically won a bunch of his titles outside of WWE. It was in WCW, NWA.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I think WWE wants the
So they want
title.
to solidify this.
Yeah, I think they want the record holder to be a day one WWE guy like John
Gotcha.
Cena. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's John Cena. Like he is a lot of people's goat.
Mm,
A lot of
yeah.
people.
Yeah, it's crazy to me, but yeah.
I get it. I feel like when you're younger, it makes a lot of sense.
Sure. But like I don't know. Like for you, Spencer, like Taker's your goat. Then he was your goat then, and you can look as you are older and still believe he's your goat. Just the same with me. Stone Cold was my goat, and I can look at his past work and be like, that's still my goat. Where if you're a John Cena fan, I don't know how you look back and be like, yeah, that's the goat. That's the greatest to ever lace him up. I just don't see it. I don't get it. I can't.
Yeah, I think it, and maybe this is the wrong way to look at it, but again, I think for younger people it's easier because we remember whenever he was in like those green shorts and the
Yeah,
when ruthless aggression was first uttered.
yeah, yeah,
We remember that, and
yeah,
for the Undertaker, like I he was good and going by the time I was conscious and aware of him.
yeah. I
And
just, I don't know, man. It's just hard for me. Like to me, he's sniffing outside the top 10 for me personally. But I know
and I
Roy,
don't disagree.
I know Roy is like that's his goal, and I respect that. But it's just like I don't know. That's like saying Bill Russell's the goat, and it's like, oh no, like if you watch any basketball in the last such and such year, like you've seen, there's people plenty better than Bill Russell. You know what I mean? Bill Russell just got the most rings. So I don't know.
Yep.
I don't
Hmm.
know.
Well, if you want to hear all that, be sure and check out Brandon's podcast where he talks all things wrestling. And
Yep.
then, of course, we have DC Animation with Spencer and Friends, which is also another bi-weekly podcast. Spencer, what's next up?
We just reviewed The Long Halloween Part 1, so next up will be The Long Halloween Part 2.
I
Mm.
guess that makes sense, right? Part one and part two.
Does make sense.
So there you have it. That's everything we have here.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. And so, on today's episode, we here at the league, we love a good like debate situation.
Mm-hmm.
We often come up with ways to have to just come up with something on the fly.
Yeah.
And so today we have, something kind of like that. We do have a prepared list of Disney villains, and today's episode is defend that villain. So I'm sure you're familiar with the concept. We will be given a villain, and we have to litigate for them. We have to act as their attorney and defend that person and their actions and all of that. And then you, the people, can let us know who you think was well defended and who you think was not. Now,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like we haven't worked out like a lot of details on this episode, so we're just gonna
Nope.
do it and we're just gonna see what
Yeah.
happens. We didn't decide on like, is there gonna be a judge? We didn't say like, are there gonna be counter argument? We didn't do any of that. We're just gonna get a person
Mm-hmm.
and start talking.
Yeah.
So what we have a big wheel with everybody's name on it, and that's gonna determine that's gonna determine, yeah, who you are defending. So I'm gonna have Jordan go first.
Okay.
And I'm just going to spin the wheel and we're going to see who Jordan gets to defend.
Do,
And go ahead.
I was say, do we want to tell the audience like all the characters, or you just want to
Nope.
surprise? Okay.
It just know that it is Disney slash Pixar villains.
Mm-hmm.
So we just going to see what happens.
I say we do celebrities next, have like R. Kelly and
Oh
Bill
God,
Cosby.
Whoa.
that
God,
sounds like
dog.
a terrible idea.
It jumped out the window.
Kanye on there.
Right.
Nah, I'd be crazy though if we did that.
And Jordan will be defending Shere Khan from the Jungle Book.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, I cleared my throat a little bit. So Shere Khan. Honestly, I feel like this is kind of an easy one because
Uh, I was going to say there are some of these that are easier and harder than others because Disney villains have a pretty wide range. So yeah, some of these are going to be like, oh yeah, I could defend them all
Yeah.
day long. Some of them you may have to work for it a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
100%.
So I'm going to kind of break it down into kind of categories of what I believe, like the reason why Shere Khan, you know, everything he did, he was, deservingly of. First of all, He's a tiger. We know men kill tigers, right? We can all agree that humans, for the most part, kill tigers. So the fact that, this little man cub just rode up in his territory thinking that things were sweet around here, he's like, no, like I saw my homeboy get killed by a man. This man, when he gets older, is going to also in turn kill us. So yes,
Hmm.
it makes sense 100% for him to not like humans. Guns have played a major part in every single, you know, war across the world, killing animals. So it's like for him also to hate humans with guns makes 100% right. And honestly, he kind of deserved to kill any humans he wanted to because all his kind was being killed for their fur. Don't even get me started on, tigers and stuff being killed for their fur. So that's just the first part. Believe he's right in. Part two, he wanted to make sure that he was the protector of the jungle. It is his job. There's no lions here. Everybody agrees the lion is the king of the jungle, or whatever they want to call it. But there's no lions here. There's tigers. He's the next best thing. It is on his conscience, on his soul to make sure that he is defending things, keeping the natural order. If you're a weak animal, you must be taken out. If you're a weak human, you must be taken out. So when a man cub comes, he just sees it at the bottom of the chopping block. That's it. Like it's nothing personal against Mowgli. It's really not. It could have been anybody. And the fact that it was a human is the reason why, he was motivated to do what he did. And then the last thing, tigers. They're very powerful animals. If you're going to be that powerful, why not flaunt it? You have the ability to destroy any little animal with a little snap of their neck. You have a powerful bite, big claws. You can take these boys out. So in my opinion, I think everything Shere Khan did in that movie was the right call. I think everybody else around him was just acting real sweet and soft. Because at the end of the day, Mowgli gonna get older. No matter what happens, man always messes up and man will destroy.
Mm-mm. Okay.
Bro,
Okay.
I came out the gate hot.
Um, yeah. Let me say this about this episode. Um, please do not use against anyone anything that they say in this episode. We're gonna say some shit
Oh yeah.
that we do not believe in our hearts.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
We're gonna say some
We're going to
wild
defend
things. Yeah, like the
very
goal
heinous
here
behavior.
is to defend, yeah, like pretty egregious actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please understand that we may say stuff that we do not truly feel.
It's
Yeah.
like playing devil's advocate to ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, like you may hear us say some stuff that's like, whoa, whoa, but that's the game.
Yeah.
That's how the law works.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, pretty good argument.
I thought it was pretty good.
Pretty solid.
I thought that was pretty good. That'd probably be honestly the best argument I've done in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, and
But
we're gonna see how the people feel about it.
which I rate that one? Scale on 1 to 10. How you think my skills was on that one?
For you, for you, I give that an 8.
For you,
Yeah.
I would also give it a
Usually,
solid 8.
yeah. Usually, you're not as solid. Usually, not as compact. Now, I will say you got kind of a cheat code because I think you're pretty tapped in with Jungle Book.
And
Uh,
he's an animal who really just wanted to kill a man, and that's what animals do anyway.
yeah, yeah,
So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah,
As a layup.
you just be like, yeah, he's a tiger doing tiger shit, which y'all mad
Yeah.
for.
yeah,
Yeah, you can't get mad at a tiger doing tiger shit.
yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Shout out to my shirt cons out
Brandon,
there.
Yeah.
Brandon, I got you going next, and you are defending Lotso Huggin Bear
Yeah.
Is that really his last name?
from. I'm pretty sure.
Didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure his name is Lotso Huggin Bear.
I think you're
How
right.
did you not know that?
I don't remember. I didn't remember his last name. I just
I didn't
remember.
either.
Yeah.
Lots of hugging bear. Which one? Toy Story was this one, right?
This is
Well,
Toy
which
Story 3.
3?
Three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So,
oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
I know. I thought you were going to say something too.
Yeah.
I started to, and I was like, let me just let Brandon go.
Oh, okay. All right. You have to respect Lotso, right? He ruled that place with the iron fist. And we're talking about changing kids' lives, right? If we're talking about changing kids' lives, we can't have silliness around here. We can't have a bunch of people going crazy. You got to stay in character, and you got to make the experience can't be about you. It has to be about the child, right? We want to make the child's experience the best. So when you're dealing with toys, sometimes these toys, you know what I mean, they get out of pocket. They think they're the star. They're not really caring about the kids. Their packaging is all messed up. You know what I mean? But Lotso was like, nah, we're not doing that, right? He ruled the place with an iron fist. And some people had issues with the way he handled certain things. And I can understand that. But we have to think from his perspective, right? There's a lot of trauma there. And when we talk about trauma, sometimes you got to really, you know what I mean? Sometimes when people do bad stuff, you have to realize things from their perspective, right? And it's a lot going on there, right? Toy Story, he has a lot to be jealous of, to be honest, right? Like you got this group of toys who are family, who think they're better than everybody else, who thinks, all these other toys are meaningless, and they keep talking about this, the Andy and all their the kids they want to get back to. And it's like, man, I don't even have that opportunity. You know what I mean? So to throw it in Lotso's faces, I feel like Lotso is justified in his actions when toys are throwing stuff in your face and making you feel bad that you don't have your own end. You know what I'm saying? I think that's wrong. And so I think to defend Lotso makes a lot of sense because I think we all have had those days where somebody throws something in your face and you gotta react. Now, how you react is up to you. But I think we all can respect, putting people in their place and also running a tight ship. I think we can all respect that.
I'll be honest. I think Brandon forgot what Lotso's
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, I can
yeah, I
tell
don't know
Yeah, I
how
Brandon.
was gonna say
Brandon.
Yeah.
it feels like you don't
Yeah,
quite
I
remember.
don't
Yeah,
know
he was
Lotso
talking
like
real
that.
in
I'll be
general.
honest.
Lotso,
Yeah,
didn't he get abandoned by his I guess
So
human?
he feels like he got abandoned, but he got lost. So
Yeah.
yeah.
he was lost and then replaced, and then took that out on everybody.
Yeah, he took it
And
personal.
That hit. That hit the trauma, and
Brandon
he
was
took
talking
it on
real
others.
general. He was real
yeah,
general talking about
Hey, man, you have
that.
to.
Brandon said he ruled with an iron fist, and toys were throwing stuff in his face, and we don't like that.
Yeah, come on, man.
Oh,
Um, but
That hit on everything. I just didn't go into specifics. That's all.
to be honest though, I ain't gonna lie. I think he might deserve like I think he is correct in his way he was handling things. Because in his eyes, like I said, he got abandoned. All these other toys, they they got abandoned too. So like, why y'all not mad?
Yeah.
I mean, the way that he did do some like manipulation and segregation and favoritism a little bit, but yeah, I understand how he got where he was, but he was definitely taking his trauma out on everybody. But I think that an argument could be made that he was doing it for the toys' protection.
Yeah, because
And
they got abandoned too, right?
yeah, I mean that's usually how they end up in that situation. And Brandon, I like the fact that you said we have to put the child first. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a good
Yeah.
that's not what happened, but that's a good argument.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, when Brandon said that, I was like, yeah, Brandon don't even remember.
But again, that's the game.
Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly. You got to defend a client who you don't
yeah, like
necessarily
you
agree
gotta
with.
defend some unsavory
Okay, lawyer, I see you.
behavior.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. There's some spin involved
Yeah, Matt Murdock
sometimes.
don't always like the people he defends. You know what I mean? You got to make it sound right.
Okay, spoilers coming.
Yeah.
But that's how it's gotta be.
Yep.
So
Solid
all
argument,
right.
Brandon. I might get down to 6.5 though.
Yeah, I feel like if you had a better idea of what was going on,
Yeah.
like if you remembered it better, then you would have probably presented a stronger argument. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 6.5 is right.
Sure.
So it's my turn. And I have Captain Hook from Peter Pan.
Hmm.
Now, now, I feel like Captain Hook is on the easier end of playing defense, but maybe that's just my own feeling. So we have Captain Hook, and a lot of people would argue that all Captain Hook wants is revenge. And while there may be a little revenge sprinkled in there, one could understand why he would want revenge because he is chasing after a magical entity that not only cut off his hand,
Hmm.
but then fed it to an alligator. And for no good reason. To cut off my hand is one thing. But then you're just playing around, joking, having a good old time, and you're going to feed my hand to an alligator? That is egregious behavior. And
Yeah.
so I think that it is perfectly reasonable for Captain Hook to want this miscreant off the streets. But let's go deeper.
Mm.
We have a magical person who is a terrible influence kidnapping children in the middle of the night.
I knew that was good. Okay. Okay.
That's who I'm trying to get off the streets.
That's good
Captain
defense
Hook
right
is
there.
Captain
Hmm.
Hook is the hero in this situation because again, he's the only person who can see the truth. These kids are young and impressionable. They don't know what's going on. They're being promised, candy in a van,
Them
and
drugs.
he's the only one who is trying to save these children's lives.
You need a Purple Heart.
Yes, he should really be celebrated and honored.
I agree. He need a
And
day.
yeah, the fact that he's not is absurd. And so I just wanted to be very, very clear that Captain Hook really, when it comes to Peter Pan, is doing nothing. He's doing the Lord's work.
I agree. Amen.
Yeah, he's doing what everybody should be doing. Everybody should be on the same mission, but nobody else has the bravery.
Got the
Mm.
balls.
Yeah, nobody else is out here putting their lives on the line, fighting against the water, the sea. She is not merciful.
Yeah, we saw what she did to Moana.
Exactly. The sea does not play around, but Captain Hook is risking it all to get this deviant, this kidnapper
Pedophile.
off the streets. Because, yeah, you can say he's forever young or whatever, but that doesn't change the fact that he is however old he is.
That's right. They do an anime all the time.
So we need to get him on up out of here. We can't have Peter Pan out here having fun cutting off other people's hands and feeding them to alligators. This alligator it now has a taste for blood, a taste for flesh
You're right.
because of Peter Pan's just foolish actions. Captain Hook now has to worry about this alligator chasing him around the world.
And you know what? Because they ate the alligator ate human stuff, so now they got to put the alligator down. So now he just got the alligator killed for no reason.
Mm.
So yeah, Peter Pan's the true villain here. And I think it's unfortunate that we are looking at a case of pretty privilege
Mm.
because, Captain Hook may not be the most handsome guy, but he's the most noble guy.
Noble. Interesting.
Bro, I
Yep.
really forgot. Like, is he even a bad guy to blue? Like, that's convincing so far. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
he
just
didn't
saying.
treat the people of his shit very well. And I mean, he's kind of
Brandon, I believe it is you that mentioned running a tight ship earlier.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to make that tough choice.
abuse and running a tight ship. That's a fine line. And I feel like Captain Hook.
No, Captain Hook actually runs a tight ship.
Also,
Lotso was ready to kill some people.
Also, if you think about it, he also captured Belle, right? Would you want just some magical creature flying around here and you don't know what it does? It can grant wishes. I don't think that should be just on these streets like that.
So yeah, Captain Hook is doing the real good work here.
No, I really can't remember. Did he do anything bad? Like, that was really convincing.
Yeah, solid. Pretty good argument. Pretty good argument there.
But for real, what did he do
I
bad?
thought
I don't
so.
remember. This was on the list. This was one of the people I've only ever seen Peter Pan maybe once, and I don't even remember what he even did wrong.
I can see you not liking Peter Pan.
I don't even think
Yeah.
my kids have seen it yet, so that's probably why I haven't rewatched it as an adult.
Hmm.
And it's one of the like it's old enough to have some offensive shit in it.
Oh, bro, the indigenous like that was
Yeah.
crazy.
That
The
whole
what?
scene, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole scene with
Ooh,
indigenous people and
yeah,
it's of the time period.
yeah. It's
Mm.
rough. It is rough. It makes Pocahontas look 30 years. Like it makes Pocahontas look like a groundbreaking. You know what I mean? It's bad.
Which
No,
I think that's what Pocahontas was supposed to be.
True, yeah, but it was like that also led to some stuff. But no, that was it's bad.
I'm surprised we haven't got a live action version of this one in a while. I feel like they've done
Of
it
what, Peter
before.
Pan?
Yeah, I feel like because they've done it a bunch, but like
I mean,
in this
there was a
in this
movie.
new
I remember
era.
the movie Hook, but yeah. Um,
Yeah, they did hook.
I I
Oh,
mean,
I don't
and
think I saw that then.
it might be a situation where they haven't done it because I think in the book, Peter Pan was a lot less
It's really
redeemable.
yeah, it's really problematic. But I will say that live action movies in the past have been really well. The one with Robin Williams is good.
Yeah, I think
Like
that one's Hook.
yeah, that one's hook. Yeah, and then obviously the animated one was really good. So like I don't know. I think you're right. Like I mean the way they're going now, they might just make it. You know.
Well, that's
And
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
like
Like in this new era, have they done it yet?
Yeah.
so I have a question for you gentlemen. That is kind of unrelated to any of this, but
Mhm.
something that I just kind of want to see how y'all feel. Um, are there any actors today that you would watch a movie just because they are in it? And I don't mean
Keanu
actors
Reeves.
that were acting in the 90s. I mean
Mhm.
like
Current.
actors around our age or that have
Oh,
not been in the game for over 20 years.
Does Jonathan Bernthal count?
Yes.
oh,
Okay, I will watch something if he's in it.
Okay.
But
uh,
the list is very short.
Because there used to be like that used to we used to have movie stars and now because I feel like Timothy Chalamet is supposed to be that right now.
Yeah,
And I think that the industry has moved away from telling like independent stories with a movie star and moved more toward uh uh IPs
yeah,
because
100%.
I feel like we go see an IP regardless of who's in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas back in the day, like I'm seeing the Denzel movie.
I
Yeah.
might go. I might go on my way. I had to pull up his name because I didn't remember his name, and we're not counting who I just say Neo.
Keanu Reeves because he's been
Yeah,
around
okay.
like
Coleman Domingo. I had to look him up. I've been catching a couple of his movies, and I'm really liking him so far.
Who
I
is
think I
that?
know who that dude is.
So I don't know if you watched The Madness, but he's like the main dude in The Madness. He was the dude in Candyman. He also is the dude. And there's a new movie out, Electric
Like
State. I
he's
recently
got a
watched that.
villain face,
Yeah.
but if you see
Uh,
him, I think you know exactly who he is. But yeah,
he's also the voice of Norman Osborn in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
I think I've seen him.
But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
I want to say he's in the New Color Purple.
Yeah, which I haven't saw that one yet. But yeah, I don't know. I've been like liking the stuff he's been in so far. So
Okay.
Okay, because I think that Jonathan Majors was gonna be that,
Mm-hmm.
but you know they cut him off at the knees.
Yeah.
I think Michael B. Jordan is supposed to be that, but not quite for me.
Yeah. I'm saying.
Like I don't have anything against Michael B. Jordan. I don't have any problems with him, but like he doesn't have the acting chops that I look for in a movie star, if you will.
Mm-hmm. That's a good
Um,
point.
but yeah, like I just feel like there was a time when like you're gonna see the Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Yeah. Mel Gibson, all them.
But yeah, like now I almost wonder if it was a way for studios to take control of the situation. Because like The Rock has a lot of influence and power and sway on what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that companies don't like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, shit, DC hated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I understand why it's a problem under certain circumstances.
Yeah,
But yeah, like if you're like an A24 and you're just like here to make good movies, I don't think it's a problem. But yeah, if you're Disney and you own the shit,
yeah,
then yeah, you're like, no, we're not about to have somebody coming in here trying to change stuff up. We will, because I mean, with the MCU, before Robert Downey Jr., the MCU's like, yeah, we'll get some nobodies to be in this movie
right.
I
because you're
mean,
here to see the movie rather than the quote unquote stars that are going to be in it. Because like Thor, Natalie Portman and Anthony Hopkins, but like, did nobody know Hemsworth
yeah.
Yeah,
or uh Tom Hiddleston or so I wonder if it's been intentional or if it's just kind of been what we as an audience have moved toward wanting. Like, I'm not sure.
I think I can see a little both because I mean, with our generation, we don't. Yeah, we care about the actors, but like care
We
more
love an
about.
IP.
Yeah, we love our nostalgia. We love our stuff. You know what I mean? So to see it in high quality, now we're like, hey, put it out. Like I'll see it either way.
Yeah, because and I think that kind of goes with how it's very rare now to see a movie that is not a remake, a sequel, or a reimagining. Like it feels like every movie is one of those three.
I think it's way more that's not that, but we just don't go see them. Like people,
Netflix got a bunch of them.
hello,
Or
somebody was
okay,
posting
those
about
aren't
it the
getting
other day.
marketed. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch, and somebody did I saw Instagram reel. Like, if you look at box office, like a lot of movies are tanking that are originals. They're just tanking because, I mean, like you said, marketing. We don't really market original movies anymore.
Because you can
Um,
put them on streaming service, and make the money
yeah,
back.
yeah,
And
100%.
but also if you get a powerhouse to play in the movie, then you can. Like
Yeah,
if you get a person that people are like, I'm gonna go see, like Pedro Pascal might be a
that
guy
might be.
that's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's true.
if he's in it, I'm gonna see it.
But he just keep being an IP stuff.
True,
Well, that's because
but
that's the popular, that's the big stuff right
yeah,
now.
that's the big stuff. Because I think if it wasn't, I think Pedro, yeah, like he just happens to be picking IP stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
because I mean, and again, that's what's popular. Those are the big movies that are coming out because, like y'all said, we don't often hear about the, single story that, was just written for the love of the game as opposed to like specifically to generate revenue
yeah, and I
I'll tell
mean,
you,
or that's
go
already
ahead.
tied to something that is, because nostalgia is a big market. I have spent absurd amounts of money on nostalgia, so I get it.
Yeah,
I would say Apple, in my opinion, Apple TV super undermarketed, but for some reason, all their movies be having hit stars in them, and nobody ever talks about them. I think it would be
yeah,
original stuff and everything. It'd be number one biggest celebrities out there being Apple stuff. Nobody says anything about it.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
And
it's it's
that
happening
could be
every
because
streaming service. I feel like that's happening.
and may because I feel like yeah, each streaming service advertises on itself. Like whenever you open up that service, it will advertise whatever, the big thing is. But I think because all of the streaming services aren't like they can't market in other places really.
Yeah, they can social media, but I mean, they kind of have to target you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so like I don't know because whenever in the days of cable TV, like you get a commercial for
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
And if something's not going to the movie theaters, then you're not going to see previews for it.
Hmm.
So I'm not going to see Apple TV previews whenever I go see a movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like the only place I see Apple TV marketing is on Apple TV. And like maybe if I happen to be watching, ABC, like if I'm watching Wheel of Fortune at my parents' house,
yeah.
then maybe one commercial, but
I did see somebody was talking about how like Apple TV has kind of replaced Max as like the like grown up folks
Dude,
show.
I'm telling you, like Apple TV, in my opinion, is the best streaming services for like sci-fi stuff. Like I've
Mm,
seen so many great movies and shows on Apple TV, and it's like I no one ever talks about them at all. But it's
yeah,
crazy because even like I think as of like a month ago, technically Apple TV is failing. Like
yeah,
they're costing money, but Apple has so much money that they
Yeah, I
can
was gonna say
afford to
like
do that.
yeah, Apple
yeah.
TV is a mere side hustle for Apple. Like
Right.
Hmm.
they're not like if they have they're liquid enough where it's like, it's fine.
Yeah, thanks.
But okay. I was just wondering because that just feels like something that has happened. And I don't know if it's intentional or if I'm the only one who's seeing it or if it's even real. But yeah, it definitely feels like we don't have movie stars anymore and we just have IPs. And I think that y'all are right. We definitely do have like independent movies that are, just like really good stories being told, but they're not being marketed because there's no nostalgia attached to them.
Yeah.
Like I literally just opened up Apple and freaking John Krasinski has a brand new movie with Natalie Portman coming out. Like nobody's heard of this thing. I'm like John
Mm-mm.
Krasinski is a pretty big name. Natalie Portman, pretty big name.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I recently saw a movie. It had the Queen's Gambit and uh and Whiplash in it. And
Yeah.
it was about some fucking trench monsters climbing up a mountain or something, and they had like turret guns, and I was like, oh, this kind of good. No idea what it was called. But
Right.
yeah, I was like those two are heavy hitters um in Hollywood right now, I think. And yeah, I have not heard a single thing about this movie. Again, I can't even tell you what it was called, but we just had it on. And I was like, I think I like what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. Well, back to the episode, I guess. A little sidebar there.
Yeah.
Jordan, you get to defend the evil queen from Snow White.
Okay, so it's definitely been a while since I've seen Snow White, but I understand coming. I feel like I'm older in age. I'm an old man in this game. I'm 33. The queen, the evil queen, she was probably older as well. And sometimes you see the younger generation, and you're like, that used to be me. I miss that. Like I used to be quick like that. I used to be able to jump high like that. I used to look good like that. Now I'm, getting wrinkles, body's aging on me a little bit, getting a little stomach on me, knees hurt all the time. And the evil queen is like, I got little wrinkles on me. I'm getting a little older. The young guys don't come around like they used to. You see this young, beautiful, you know, beautiful girl, and you're just like, I need that. I want that. And I have a way to get that. You even go and talk to your confidant. Imagine you go talk to your homie, your best mate, your boy, and you just like, hey bro, like I need your help. Tell me what I can do to be better than this person. Or just tell me that I'm the best. Like tell me that I'm doing the best. And then your homeboy tell you like, nah, bro, dude down the street, better than you. But there's a chance that you could do something about it. Here's this here's this apple. You give him the apple, you know, you put old boy to sleep. You ain't got to worry about that no more.
Mm.
So it's like I get it. I get it. You want that youth, and if you can't have it, you don't want the next person to get it. Jealousy will do that to you. Jealousy will cause you to do a whole lot of things. And on top of that, the princess had pretty privilege. We're getting back to pretty privilege. That does a lot, especially in the kingdom back then. you know, Everybody probably stinky back then. Everybody probably had diseases and stuff. I'm sure it was real rough back then. But then you find a young princess who's, beautiful, fair skinned, long hair, brown eyes, thick,
Why she got to be fair skin?
because that's just what it
It,
was.
it,
Okay.
I think we're in Germany. Like that's just
That's
that's
Okay.
what that's that, that was the move back then.
that's what it was, and she was probably thick, considering for what it was back then. And
No,
so,
back then, no. Like thick was not a good. That's not what they wanted. That's not what they were looking for.
okay, well, she was skinny, and she had the good looks. And if I have the power, if I have the knowledge to use my dark arts for nefarious things, then so be it. It's one person. If you take out one person, it shouldn't stop anything. So that's my thing. I think she was correct in the way she kind of handled things. And all she did was put her to sleep. Ain't nothing wrong with that. She didn't want to really hurt her like that. She just wanted to,
Mm,
let her go to sleep for a little long time.
yeah, a long time.
Long time.
That
The
that
long walk.
that might be good for you though. So it's like I get it. Sometimes you get older and jealousy. Those two things combined is it's a rough thing. But I think she handled it the best way she could. I feel like my argument was a little rocky there. It wasn't
I
as
was
good as
gonna
my
say, I
first
think
one.
this was a kind of weak argument. I
Yeah,
think again, I think this was just not being super familiar with the movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been a while since I've seen that one. And
because
honestly,
I
I don't think
think
I've seen the whole
I
thing.
don't think I've seen the whole thing, to be honest. I'm
like my
glad you
wife
got that one.
watched my wife watched Snow White somewhat recently, and a couple things that I would have talked about. First of all, she just kind of found a house in the middle of nowhere and just did a home invasion, and the
Oh,
dwarves
that's
were
true.
scared for their lives
Yeah.
because this giant woman just came in here, sleeping on the bed and shit.
Yeah.
Um, and then also like it's not my like we have to speak on the fact that she ate an apple from a stranger. Like that's on her.
Yeah. It's true.
But
That is true. She should have been smarter than that.
yeah, that's on
100%.
her.
Yeah.
Like maybe those are the kind of people that deserve what happens to them.
Whoa.
I'm just saying,
I
but
already
but
told you. This is the episode.
is that not right though? You see younger people these days. You're like, oh, I remember I used to be just like that.
Yeah.
I can give them an apple.
Yeah, like I can fix this right now. Teach them a lesson.
That's what I'm
Help
saying. And
them
if
understand how real life works.
you got the magic to do it, hey, so
Hey,
be it. So be it. I
okay.
do. I do. Wait, while we're here, before we get off of this, because this has been a big thing. The Snow White movie. Have y'all watched it yet?
I have not.
I have not.
I haven't neither. I'm curious to see
I
if is it
want
as
to, I
bad as the internet has been saying.
once it gets to streaming, I think I'm gonna sit down and watch it because there's no way it's worse than Dragon Ball Evolution.
I
Like
agree.
Yeah.
that
I
is
I was
think
not
gonna
true.
say.
I think this at this point. I think it was probably like not
Playing
that good,
trolling.
and
Yeah.
then yeah, people started just like, oh yeah, let's continue to
Because
bomb this.
as y'all know, like the girl just, I mean, she hit every text box for pissing off Republicans and conservative. Like, she was like, ugh, she has a prince save her. Ugh. Like, you know what I mean? Just classic, just new generation stuff. And it was just, some of it was just over the top. It was like, what are we doing? Like, you're not even telling the same story now, if that's the goal.
Yeah.
But,
And then there were people who were mad. It's like Gal Gadot is so much hotter than she is. It's like, well, okay, that
right.
they
Honestly,
and oh yeah, they were making Lord Farquaad jokes at her at
Oh, for
Snow White.
frying her.
Yeah,
She
it
had the
was
little bob.
yeah.
Yeah, that was frying her, bro.
I never did. Honestly, I never did see a trailer for the Snow White at all. Like, did they market this one? Because I did
They
not
did.
see the
Yeah,
trailer.
they did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
they were hoping that it was going to be a box office smash. Like they because it's Snow White and that's Disney's like OG.
Yeah.
So I think they really thought they were doing something. And then Gal Gadot's popular. So
Yeah. It's
yeah, I
just
think that they were shocked when this did as bad as it did.
also forgot the Israel Palestine war kind of caused some issues because obviously Gal Gadot was in the Israeli army, and then
She was?
yeah, she's like was a soldier, and then the actor who's playing Snow White was saying "Free Palestine." You know what I mean? Like it was like
I did not
man,
know that.
like it was the worst timing for them to be doing all that.
I did not
But
know she was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So she's I didn't even know she was
Yeah, she's
Israeli.
Israeli. Yep.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Okay.
yeah. That's kind of how she got first spotted for. Well, just like her physical attributes, she got spotted for being Wonder Woman.
Gotcha. Learn something new.
Yep, 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 yep.
Okay. Okay. Brandon. Brandon, you're up next, and you will be defending Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove.
Yzma, Yzma. So, you know, in this day and age of people trying to be kings, I think we're running into that problem in America. But I feel like sometimes when you're a person who has goals and aspirations and you're getting a little older, you're really working, you're trying, you're doing these little you're giving little chores, little stuff to do, little projects to work on. And then you see this little young punk get the throne who doesn't even care about the place he's over, doesn't care about the place, doesn't care about the people. I mean, in this case, she is the hero, right? She is doing what's best for the realm, right? You have this young, irresponsible kid who is, I mean, as cocky and arrogant and selfish. We saw the first scene of the movie. He's just denying people food, denying people all the things they need. Like we've seen this throughout history, right? Bad young kings, they get offed. That's just what happens, right? That's just what happens,
Man
right?
said oft.
Like it just
That is what
happens.
happens.
Like you get bad young kings who are cocky, who are arrogant, and boom, they go up miss. They end up missing. You know what I mean? And this is what she was trying to do. She was trying to help the realm and giving them a responsible, seasoned, of old vet in this position. She was trying to help the realm, and she had good support behind her. But unfortunately, what I mean, her support wasn't the smartest guy in Crunk. So, what I mean, a couple of stuff got mixed up incorrectly, and the job didn't get done. However, I think I can defend her in this action that like she was trying to do what was best, right? She was trying to basically stop a dictator from taking over it and enacting some very stupid and extremely selfish things. Like the things he was doing was just crazy. He had to be changed into an animal to be humbled. That
That's
should tell
what.
you,
That's wild.
yeah, that should tell you the type of insanity and arrogance we're dealing with here. He had to go through a life changing experience just to be somewhat humble, right? She was trying to stop all that. Let's just go ahead, send my guy up to the upper room, and then she can handle it and take care of the room and do a solid job. So I think she is the hero in this situation. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. However, and she tried to even backtrack. Like she put in some work to try to go get him. You know what I mean? The first time she tried to get him off, it didn't work. Okay, let me double back and try to take care of him again. You know what I mean? She just had poor support. You know what I mean? I don't think that's her fault. You know what I
Again,
mean? So
I would
yeah.
also add in that honestly, she is a good character because she gave a person with handicap with mental disabilities a job,
Facts. She's DEI. She's
bro.
handling she's
Because
hiring
if it
folks.
was not for her, he would probably be dead.
Yeah,
Like
underrepresented. Yeah,
that's what I'm
man.
saying. Like, and honestly, and if we want to continue going down this thing, it might be his fault because he should have been the one responsible for making sure everything was locked up. She gave him a job to make sure to look after all this stuff. You know,
Hmm.
she can't work, make sure she's doing all her work and watch all the other stuff. That's why it's two of them. She's doing all the work. He's making sure stuff is locked up. He didn't hold up his part of the job. It's really his fault, honestly.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, I think Yzma was a pretty easy one to argue for
Yeah,
because she was trying to deal with a clearly incompetent and malicious leader. Like
absolutely.
he was terrible to the
Terrible.
people.
Hmm.
He was willing to destroy people's homes for his own amusement, and she cared enough about, as you said, the realm to do the hard thing that nobody else
Yeah,
was willing to do
exactly.
for the betterment of all.
Hmm.
And again, he's his incompetent ass. Uh, she's the one who's got the skill. She's the one who's been running things in the background anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
And it was
let her
due
actually
to
be in charge.
it was due to her he became a llama and humbled himself and went through, you know what I mean? Became a
You're
better
right.
person at the end.
You're
You
right.
know?
Like she was able to get him to see the error of his ways.
Yeah. 100%.
No, that's a good argument there, Brandon. That's a good
I
argument.
agree.
That was definitely better than your first one. I get that one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
Get
was
that
tapped
one.
in. Emperor's New Groove, I'm
stronger than the
tapped in.
first one.
Yeah, Emperor's New Groove, I'm tapped in.
Okay, all right. Well, it's my turn, and I will be arguing for Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, wait, mine says Jafar. Oh no, never mind. Never mind. It updates. My bad.
Yeah, it was probably, yeah, just took a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Gaston, what we have here is what a lot of people would call toxic masculinity.
What the Spencer? I already know you're about to go crazy.
Why? What's toxic about it? Now let's talk about it. What does toxic masculinity even mean? Is it toxic because he keeps himself strong and healthy? Is he toxic because he wants a traditional relationship with one woman? There are women throwing themselves at this man, and he says, "No, no,
Preach.
I don't need any of that. I want monogamy with one with a true with one true love. That's what I want. That's toxic masculinity. That's what we're gonna say. Is he toxically masculine because he's confident? That's what toxic masculinity is. Oh, okay. So right
Preach.
now we're really just, saying words and trying to accuse this man of being toxic because he knows who he is. And, he's a good-looking man. I'm not going to fault him for being handsome. Along with that, this is a man who lets this beautiful woman know that he's interested. And she decides that she's going to run away and get locked up by a fucking animal. And whenever her father comes back to town and says, "Hey, everybody, my daughter is being held hostage by a fucking animal," Gaston is like, "Oh, we can't have that. I will risk my life to go save this woman
You ain't have
from
to.
this literal beast."
Tell him.
And now we're gonna fault my man for wanting to put down this beast that has kidnapped Maurice's daughter,
I would have to.
this beautiful woman. Yeah, I would have too. That's what a real man is
That's
gonna
right.
do in this
Well, I know
situation.
both of y'all need to shut the fuck up because I
He is
know
gonna.
neither one of y'all would have.
He is going to. I have a
Bro,
lawyer right now.
if that's my future wife, I'm gonna do
He
whatever
is.
it takes.
Yeah, he rode
Stop it.
out, and he was willing to risk his own life to save this woman from this beast. He didn't know what he was getting himself into, but he decided, no, it is worth it.
It's a real
And
hero.
I'm the guy who's going to do it. That's what toxic masculinity is, saving this woman who had been kidnapped by a beast, according to her own father?
Tired of this woke nonsense. Tell
That's
him.
what we're doing. So, no, Gaston did exactly what Gaston was supposed to do. Gaston just wanted to live a good, honest life with a loved one. He wanted to build a family. Again, Gaston prioritized his own health
As you
and made
should.
sure that he had a strong body and a strong mind.
That's right.
And he was willing to die in order to protect and save this woman from a beast that nobody knew. We didn't know that he was, cursed by a witch. And that's on you, Playboy. What you doing getting cursed by a witch? Obviously, you did something wrong. That's on you. Maybe you shouldn't have fucked up. Then you wouldn't be a beast. But y'all not gonna look at my client crazy because he saw this, he was told there was a giant, ferocious, sharp-toothed animal holding this woman hostage. That's the information Gaston had, and he acted on that like a true hero.
Your
I
Honor,
agree.
Your Honor, I would like to bring a counter argument.
Why?
Um,
We're not doing that. Why are we
yeah,
countering?
What you
yeah, we're
got, Brandon?
counter
I'm
arguing.
curious to see because I agree with Spencer. Like, what's up, Brandon?
Okay. When we talk about toxic masculinity, he did approach her numerous times when she clearly made it clear she was not interested. Do you believe that's good behavior?
He confident. What's wrong with being confident?
Oh wow, so we're calling that
No,
confidence.
what we're going to call that is persistence.
Yeah, he knew what he wanted.
No. If someone says no, when they say no, you back up. All right?
I can't. I'm not going against that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not fair to say.
Yeah,
But if
and
hey, we're taking time period into consideration. My client wasn't, of the modern times
oh, so when a
when
woman says no,
consent was
okay.
a big deal.
Wow.
That was
Okay,
a
so
And
it
time period issue.
and
sounds
That was a
honestly,
time period issue.
she
That's
might
all
have
that
been
is.
playing hard to get. We don't know.
That's
that
also another
sounds
thing.
like a type of nigga that would say that.
We have seen situations where, and not only in relationships, but there are a lot of times where, no, if you actually want this, you have to show me that you are willing to work for it. And
But
that's exactly what he did.
Whoa.
no, they
Didn't
were not a
also
relationship.
what didn't Bell tell the Beast no at first too?
Sure, but that was out of fear. This was a
Oh,
conscious
so
choice.
now it's different.
This is a conscious choice.
I
I
thought
do
no
not want
means
to.
no.
I don't want to be with you. You are not my type. I am saying no.
She told
No,
that to the
thank you.
Beast, and then she
No,
came
So
around.
Beast showed the same persistence that Gaston showed.
no,
And now we are punishing
that's not
Beast, or we're
true. That
punishing
is not
Gaston for that.
true. He did not actually. He went the opposite way. He treated her poorly, and he didn't want to have anything to do with her at first, right? But he treated her with this level of respect. You are in my home.
Gaston didn't get that chance to though, because the
No,
Beast stole her.
Gaston was going crazy. Let's also talk about his little minion, his little backup,
LeFou?
the LeFou. Right? There's plenty of rumors out there. He's gay. You know what I
And
mean?
Bro,
LeFou can do that.
that's crazy.
So wait a
No, it's a
minute.
lot of people
Let
who
me tell
think
you,
LeFou is gay.
and that's fine. But that only speaks to the lack of toxic masculinity, because if
No,
LeFou was
don't
in
do that.
fact
Exactly.
gay, Gaston should have been shunning him and been like, ew,
No,
no, get away
Yeah.
from me.
no.
That's what the time period would have said. That's
Gaston
what
kept
toxic
the
masculinity
little.
would have done.
Gaston kept the little gay kid around because he wanted. Because Gaston was always in the mirror looking at himself. He wanted someone
What's wrong with
to
that?
appreciate his looks in a very weird and
What's wrong with that?
low key grooming type of way.
That's a grown man.
No, and the way that my client viewed LeFou, we talked about DEI earlier.
No, that's
Again,
not the same.
somebody
What
who's truly
position?
toxically masculine
That's
would
right.
not have their number two being a part of any community, because
That's
that's
right.
frowned upon.
That's
So
right.
the fact that Gaston
No.
chose to include a DEI hire,
Tell him.
the fact that he was best friends with somebody who belonged to the community, only speaks to the lack of
I agree.
toxicity in my client.
That
agree.
is false. That's
Now,
false.
Brandon.
Because you could tell he was on the.
Why are you
that boy-
litigating against me, Brandon?
That
Brandon,
you could
if you
tell that man was down low. You probably didn't feel comfortable dealing with Gaston, and the man of the time, as you said, is a man of the time. You know, if he would have said, he wouldn't have got the whole full word of gay out, and that man would have been on a hanging off a tree or something, right?
that's
So,
wild.
so
Brandon, if you built like Gaston, would you not want people to appreciate you?
that's different than
No,
keeping
ask a question.
keeping
Ask
a
a question.
dude around me that can
What's wrong with
appreciate me.
that?
That's weird.
What's oh, so you think it's weird?
You're speculating a lot
Yeah, Brandon,
about
that's
my
crazy.
client's dear friend.
Everyone has they literally High School Musical, they talked about it. Everyone, yeah, I think
You're
I want to say
speculating a lot about my
I want to
client's
say
dear
in
friend.
like Broadway, there's a play and he's literally gay.
Whether or not my client's dear friend belongs to the
Dear
community,
friend, what is he shown
whether
that he's
or
a dear
not
friend or not?
my client's dear friend belongs to the community is irrelevant. It does not take away from the fact that my client does hero shit.
He also
And a part of that hero shit is a DEI.
No, he also
and he
shamed
got
her
killed for
for
his death.
reading. Like my man he didn't want his woman educated. You wanted to suppress her. Like, come
Because
on,
he
man.
wanted a good old fashioned wife. She didn't have to worry about that type of stuff when she's with him. That's
That's
what it was.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
unnecessary. You don't have to do all that.
Yeah, and I don't understand why he can't appreciate himself without being called toxic. Like, if I'm built like that, chiseled chin and everything, I want people to appreciate me. I want my own theme song.
I didn't know we were arguing against one another now. That's
But I
good to
like
I
that.
said
know.
a counter
That's good
argument. That's
But I
information
all.
to
like that.
have.
No, I like that. Yeah,
You can
yeah.
bring up a counter argument if you have one.
Okay.
I
Y'all did
I
it.
didn't know
We basically did it. We just didn't make it a counter
I didn't know we were doing counter arguments.
Okay. No,
I've only helped, but that's good to know.
argument.
no, yeah, we in it now. So we open up that can of worms now.
All right.
That's okay. I feel betrayed. But that's fine. We're gonna keep this thing going. So the wheel is spinning and it is Jordan's turn, and Jordan gets to defend Cruella DeVille
Good luck.
Oh,
from 101 Dalmatians. Gonna be honest, this one
Mm.
might be a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
why would we tough? The Queen of Drip. What do you mean? Like, first of all, some of the most famous people in our American society have been obsessed with dogs. You got Michael Vick, again, obsessed
Whoa.
with dogs.
Right.
It's not.
I'm curious where we're going.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna lock in here.
That was a choice.
Yeah. That was
I'm just
absolutely.
saying. So,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Cruella DeVille, Queen of Drip. We acknowledge she drippy, right? First woman in history to rock the black and white hair and pulled it off, right? Can we agree with that?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So with that, you want to become as drippy as you can. And one of the things that is beautiful in this world is the Dalmatian fur. I'm just saying.
Mm.
We don't know. There's 101 of these things, right? So that means someone's dog had to have 101 puppies. We know all of those puppies can't be, you know, all the way there.
Oh, this is where we're going.
Uh,
There's a couple chromosomes missing. Okay, no, no, stay with me, stay with me. In nature, this is a very nature thing. A lot of times animals will eat the ones who don't do well, right?
mm.
That's pretty rough to see. What if there was someone or something you can do to safely euthanize these animals without them suffering?
Wow.
That is all Cruella's doing. She took, there was 101 of them. She left one. So in my opinion, that one or the ones that she was trying to get, those may have been the ones who were going to have a tough life. We don't know if they have full functionality there because she is trying to do her best to pick out the ones who might not make it. Okay. I admit some of the ways she went along with it, might have not been the best, but deep down in her heart, her intentions is what it really is. You have to look at people's intentions.
Uh,
You understand what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
She was being empathetic towards these people because they had 101 dogs. Do you know how much dog food that is? Do you know how much poop that is? Pee. That is a lot to deal with. And if Cruella's able to kind of help out with that, take away some of that, and then from there, some might call her an entrepreneur because she can take that fur, make it into something nice, and then flip it and sell it for even higher. So it's to get rid of or to shun her for being an entrepreneur. When humans have been doing this for years, humans have been killing animals and taking furs for years. All she is doing is following her prime directive, the primitive prime directive that everyone has. And she's just making a little dollar out of it. You know, that's my argument right there.
Huh. So you're saying just getting rid of puppies is the move.
Yes, if that puppy is going to suffer,
Suffer, but what guarantees there will be any sort of
we don't know if these people can take care of these dogs. That's 101 of them.
right? You've now supplied 101, households with a puppy.
We don't know if those places could afford them. When you have 100, Brandon, have you ever had a puppy?
I have
How many puppies have you had at one time?
one.
How hard was it to train and potty train that puppy?
It was hard, but honestly, I would argue they financially ruined a possible, lick for this family potentially, right? If I have 101 Dalmatians, I can sell. What if I sell each of those for a grand?
You are the bad person though, because you are running a puppy mill.
No, I'm selling
Yes,
it. You just said I can't take care of them. If I
but
can't take
why
care
did
of
you
them,
have
what do I
101?
do?
Why did you have 101 in the first place?
I mean, I didn't
As a puppy
decide the
mill.
birth rate.
That is a
And
puppy mill.
wasn't
No,
Corella trying to buy them?
Exactly. She gave them an offer. She literally
mm-mm.
put money on the
No,
table. It was
that's
like,
different. That's different. If I know you're purchasing them because you want to kill them, no, I'm not going to
Brandon, we do it
accept
all
your
the time with
offer.
cows. We do it all the time with cows. What makes
It's not.
puppies and cows different?
Puppies aren't meant to be killed.
If
And who said she was going to kill him? Like,
right.
sheep get sheared all the time.
She said she was literally wearing fur,
What you can make
like
fur. They
from these
could it would grow
from
back out.
animal. No, bro. If a person wearing a bunch of fur comes to me and be like, "Oh, what a nice animal you
Brandon, what
have,"
texture is your shirt? Is that a wool shirt?
it's cotton.
Okay. Just know there's wool shirts out here that came from sheep. And guess what happens? Those sheep grow that back out. And you, sir, are supporting puppy mills. I don't know how
No,
you
I
sleep at
never
night
said
knowing
that.
that.
I said you can just because a common patron has puppies, a bunch of puppies they want to sell. By the way, get rid of. You know wrong
Michael
with
Vick did
that.
it.
Michael Vick is not a good, like, you should stop bringing him up.
That's literally the only person I know who's the dog
I don't
stuff.
think that, like,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
the
know
guy
either.
you want to. Oh, that's so funny.
All
I'm just
right.
saying, she tried to stop a puppy mill by taking some of the dogs off their hand. You cannot, I don't care how much money you
And paying a
have,
fair price.
you cannot raise 101 puppies and expect all of them to be good
Oh,
to
100%.
live.
Right. But yeah, like if 89 live and I can sell 89 of them, then that's a lick.
Brandon, you are
Again,
running a puppy mill though.
No,
Corella gave a fair offer and was ready to take that burden off of their hands.
So what else should she have did, Brandon? Because to me, she did everything she was supposed to do. These selfish people wanted to keep 101 dogs. 101. Can you imagine having 101 grown ass dogs? Not only that, do you know how big a Dalmatian can get? Dalmatians are pretty big. And you got
they are.
101 of those running around homes. So or you want to sell them to make more money to continue to do your puppy mill business? You had 101 puppies. They're going to continue to mate with each other, further decreasing the gene pool. Babies, puppies coming out, 21 chromosomes, 19, missing teeth, no paws. Brandon, I can't believe you're supporting stuff like this.
What
Like
is this? The
this
mutant
is wild.
projects? What are we talking about?
That's what's going to happen if you have 101 puppies all mating. They're all brothers and sisters.
I'm saying they would probably. I mean, especially if they're puppies, they're not mating yet, right?
But they will.
But I'm saying I would sell them as puppies. Is the point?
Oh, so you're gonna continue, like I said. So you're gonna run the puppy mill. Just go ahead
No,
and say it.
no,
Go
no.
ahead and say it. Brandon Puppy Mill Willis. Go
I know
ahead.
people who have sold their puppies of a dog they had,
101.
and no, but I guarantee they sold two or three. So what makes them any worse by selling a bunch of more? The amount doesn't matter.
The amount matters.
No, it doesn't.
Corella offered a fair price.
I can have 3 kids if I force my wife to have 101 kids. That is wild.
I'm not about to support your comparison of children and dogs.
Thank you.
But people do it all the time. People say,
People do. I
you're
am
right.
not
I'm
about to
against it.
support that.
Yeah, I am against it.
I can't run with you on that one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and we don't even know if this was consensual. They were forcing these dogs to have puppies.
Yeah.
Brandon, if you support puppy mills, bro, just say it.
What is
Just
it?
say it.
Why is everything a puppy mill? That's my thing.
There's 101 puppies. You don't just naturally have 101 puppies.
You see, okay. I didn't think this was a year-long thing. I thought this was just, a freak accident. It's a cool thing. And they probably got some pub off. Bro, you can get on Instagram. You can get an Instagram account. they could have made some major bread from this. Past
I cannot
she
believe you
what
are
she offered.
supporting this puppy mill family. This is wild. I
No,
didn't think he was like this. I did not think he was like this. Somebody need to check the
this
search
And
history.
and this is the 60s. We're not doing Instagram.
we're talking modern day.
You need to check your history because you supporting out here puppy mills. This is crazy. Corolla did nothing wrong in my opinion.
Okay, often puppies, but
Okay. Jordan, not a bad argument. Uh I'd say it was there were some holes, but
yeah,
definitely not bad. Again, Corella's kind of hard to argue for.
Yeah, but she did.
Um
She didn't. She's drippy though. She no.
and I mean I think you could have leaned into how she was being innovative with you know, incorporating Dalmatians into the fashion game. It was going to be a game changer. There were
Oh, honestly, she put Dalmatians on the map because before 101 Dalmatians, nobody cared about that.
true.
Mr.
Look at
All
that.
right. Brandon, you will be arguing for Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Gonna be honest, this is a softball one to me.
Really?
Yeah, like Ursula's very easy to argue for.
Okay. Uh, this should be interesting. All right. Okay. Life is all about making a deal, right? We all make it's all about decision making, right? Someone offers you something and you don't think about it well enough. And if you accept it, you have to deal with the consequences, right? And I think what's happened to Ursula is that she has been demeaned and people have really gotten on her because she offered a deal, fair deal, to a child, which hey man, that sounds
He's kind of like Trump.
that sounds like poor poor parenting, right? I think we're punishing Ursula for poor parenting when we should be bigging up Ursula for trying to get herself out of a bad situation, right? She offered a fair deal, right? And she was in a poor situation. She, down there under the sea, it was very toxic down there, right? It was very, it was a classist it was a classes environment that looked down on people, a woman of color, a black woman, right? Why are we looking? We gotta trust our black women, right? Trust our black women, and if our black women are trying to be an
That's why she's
entrepreneur,
literally purple. Did it really
that's
got
a black woman.
purple?
We all know that. If Ursula
Uh,
is out there trying to be an entrepreneur, make a solid deal, trying to uplift her situation, and we got this white man who's a king and this pretty privilege. We talked about it before. Pretty privilege, trying to. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. I don't. Like, come on, dog. Like, what are we doing? Anybody else? No one would have any uh no one would be like, oh, why are you doing that to her? No one would care if that was anybody else, but because it's a young girl who's silly, you know what I mean, who is out here singing about reaching the surface and stuff, when she should be worried about what decision she about to make and if this is going to cost her or not, right? Ursula, I believe, has done a good job for the most part of being a good person. You know what I mean? She was just trying to get herself out of a situation. That's all. And honestly, like I said, life is about decisions. Life is about making deals. I make deals every day. I'm like, hey, yo, hey, you said such and such and such. All right, let's make a bet. Let's make a bet, right? Like we do that all the time. And I have to live with the consequences of that bet. So to me, that's just good parenting. That's good decision. You know what I mean? That's good for the youth to have to deal with consequences. So yeah, Ursula did nothing wrong. She's fine. I think the other we need to look at the monarchy and look at the
that's hilarious.
yeah.
I would make an argument that trying to legally bind a child who is not old enough to make those type of legal decisions is shady on the low end.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why her parents was around?
Right. Some would say that, but some wouldn't.
Just you just let your kids just run around these streets. This ain't the
Facts.
'90s. You
Yeah.
just let your kid run around.
And no, I honestly, I don't think Ursula really did anything wrong. Like, true or false, Ariel came to her.
Facts.
True or false, Ariel had a problem that Ursula was like, I could solve your problem.
Yeah,
Like
I can help you out.
Ariel knew Ursula was a sea witch,
Yeah. Yeah, she
and
still pulled up.
and Ariel asked Ursula for help, and
Yeah.
Ursula said, "Here are the terms."
Hmm.
Again, that is bad parenting because yeah, as an adult with kids now, you teach your kids don't talk to strangers,
Yep.
don't take stuff from strangers. So the fact that you literally went to go talk to a stranger and you took a deal from her is bad parenting. They was
Yeah, legally binding. Yeah.
too busy making money, making clams, making these shells, too busy to pay attention to their own daughter.
Yeah, and
Shame.
I'm sure that Ariel saw all the victims that didn't, when Ursula came to collect and they didn't have it.
Yeah.
Ariel saw what happens to you
Yep.
and signed it anyway.
Stupid.
So I mean, yeah, technically Brandon's right, man. He's like she really taught her, how to stand beside your decisions and how to deal with the consequences.
Right. Life
Yeah.
lessons, man.
Okay. All right. Yeah, again, I feel like Ursula was easy,
Yeah.
but all right. I have Mother Gothel.
Mm.
Jesus Christ.
You luck with this one. All right.
Yeah, not who I wanted, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh what we have here with my client is a woman who is being punished for a couple things. We have a woman who is being punished for attempting to maintain her youth, which is something that women strive for all over the
Mm-hmm.
world. So I see no reason for my client to be attacked for wanting to remain her young and beautiful self. We all talked about nostalgia and how a lot of people want to, continue to live in their best days.
Mm-hmm.
We have a woman who is being punished for parenting an unruly youth. And while there are arguments that could be made about what makes a good parent or not, no parent is perfect. And my client has to be like, my client is a mother, not a friend. My client
Mm.
has to parent. And sometimes the parent has to be seen as the bad guy. Sometimes the parent has to be the villain in the child's story because the child does not always have all of the facts. They don't always know what's going on. They don't always make the best decisions. We just talked about children not making very good decisions. What Mother Gothel would have done was protect Rapunzel from signing that document.
True.
And so it is unfortunate that typically fathers are looked at very highly whenever they do the bare minimum, but mothers are looked at negatively when they quote unquote don't do enough or whenever they're doing too much. Mothers are often attacked regardless of what they do. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. What we have is a mother who fiercely protected this child from the horrors of the outside world because she knew better than anyone that the world doesn't love you. The world will not take care of you. The world will do everything it can to put you down, to attack you, to be cruel to you. And so my client is being attacked and punished and vilified by the public for fiercely protecting her child. And I don't want that to stand for my client. Again, perhaps my client didn't always make the perfect choice as a mother, but no mother is perfect. What my client did do was everything she could to protect her child from the evils of the world and made sure that my client had everything or my client made sure that her daughter had everything that she needed to be okay.
Hmm.
I, I would also add, getting older is scary. If I have a way to keep myself young, I might take that.
And that was actually even more to protect the daughter, because if I'm old and decrepit, that makes me less able to protect my child. If I'm able to maintain my youth, if I'm able to keep my knees good, then I can more fiercely protect my child from those evils of which I spoke.
That's right.
Interesting. I mean, I can see the argument there. I mean, you did steal a child for resources purposes only, right? If that was I think that if that was a regular kid, I think she would have been like, all right, like, I'm not about to break in. And she broke into her home and took the child. Like you kidnapped a child. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
My
don't.
client was never charged for that.
Yeah, I don't know how you defend that
There's
one.
no
It's
evidence
like,
of
yeah,
that. There's no proof of that.
you kidnapped a child, and you found out that child has a gift or whatever you want to call it, and
There's no
you,
proof of that. My client wanted nothing more than to be a good, fierce, protective mother. And my client found this child alone.
mm,
So my client thought it best to take this child home and be this child's mother. That is what my client did.
yeah, this would be the easiest kidnapping charge in
yeah, I
history.
mean, some might also say,
My client was never charged for that. That's inadmissible.
again, some might say that, locking someone away for a while is detrimental to someone's mental health.
Sure.
So there's also that.
Yeah.
Again, my client may not have made every perfect choice as a mother.
But
This is
no
my
parent,
client's first time being a
you're
mother.
right.
And I don't like that the world is trying to attack my client for protecting her child. We can't all get it right every single time.
You're right.
I
Who am I
mean,
to
But what
judge?
my client did do was ensure that my client's daughter was not attacked by bears. My client was not raped. My client was in a safe place, and my client never had any harm come to her from my client's protection.
hmm,
That is true.
okay, I'll let you rock. Let you rock.
Yeah, my client kept her daughter safe.
And she hid her living parents away from her, but I mean,
My client, again, you keep bringing up shit my client was never charged for,
Allegedly.
yeah.
allegedly.
I mean, facts are facts, but I get it.
My clients, the parents never came and got her. The parents never charged my client. The parents never, yeah. So that's on them. If it really happened, why didn't they come get her? Why didn't they charge my client? My client was never charged.
That is hilarious.
So obviously they did. They just sent some balloons in the sky. They never. They didn't do what some other parents would have done. They didn't do what Gaston would have done. Another one of my clients. I'll tell you that.
Have an interesting clientele, sir.
So all right. Well, I mean, that's the episode. I wonder who you think,
Hmm.
listeners, who you think made the best case for their people. And
and, I,
who you think had the most difficult clients to defend.
and I'm just going to say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean none of that. I know I was real
Yeah,
toxic. I'm sorry.
No, that's the episode.
Yeah.
I said it at the beginning, so I will not say it again.
Yeah. I love animals. I would Corella. She was the worst. I
yeah.
love animals. I don't know how she was able to do that. But I understand it though. It
Yeah, and
happens.
this Gaston is literally an example of would you pick the man or the bear?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Belle picked the bear, and we
Yeah.
see why.
Facts.
I
Yeah.
mean, the bear did make her dinner, but yeah. So
Yeah.
I,
I stand by what I said. No, I was fine.
yeah. Again, Brandon, I think that you would have probably uh felt a little more comfortable if you had remembered Lotso's situation.
Yeah, 100%.
He started
But
struggling there on also like he didn't really remember Yeah, somebody else. Who else was
I
you
feel
Ursula?
saying?
like I feel like Yzma and Ursula went well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know Lotto. Lotto, I knew the key what ended up at the end, but
You
I
were like,
was
yeah, he was in Toy Story, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
we're gonna talk about Toy Story.
Right.
Talk about the plot.
Right.
Uh, but yeah. Honestly, uh, Brandon, you kind of had the easiest job
No, I did.
the three we've got.
I was hoping it was a few that y'all got that I was like, yes, I didn't have to deal with that one. Like Gaston wasn't the hardest because he didn't do like a bunch of just absolutely undefendable stuff. It was more personality driven stuff.
Yep.
Where, but like yeah, a lot of the people y'all got were just straight kidnapping charges.
Yeah, like
You know what I mean?
Evil Queen was hard to
Yeah,
fight for.
yeah, like you roofied a girl, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you
Like,
know,
but if I had defended the Evil Queen, oh, I would have run a smear campaign on Snow White.
oh yeah, 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 same,
But
yeah.
yeah, we did the best we could.
We did. It's funny because this episode reminds me of the when didn't we do this with like Marvel characters or somebody?
I think we've
I think
only
We've done
argued
similar,
against each other.
but
yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's right.
and we've never had to make an argument for all the dastardly things they've done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, MCU villains we could run this again with MCU villains.
Yeah. That'd
I
be
mean,
interesting.
I feel like you got to take out Thanos and Killmonger because I really feel like they didn't do nothing wrong. They just
Oh
used
yeah,
the
those are the big
methods.
ones.
Yeah, the methods
Yeah,
they just used was wrong. But I mean, honestly, their motivations, in my opinion, wasn't too terrible.
Yeah, again, those two very easy to argue for.
yeah.
Yeah,
The rest of them, you know what I
Same with
mean?
like Magneto. Magneto's pretty easy to argue for.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
But like Apocalypse, harder.
Yeah, 100%.
But
So, all right.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we would love to know how you felt
Mm-hmm.
about the arguments that were made and anything that you may have wanted to add to defend. Like if you were co-counsel,
All right.
how would
What
you
would you
have
have brought up? Yeah.
added to the arguments?
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But with that being said, we'll never duplicate it.
Always appreciate it.
And forever melanated.